100 mil for some rice and stew. No flavour. But them man never knew. Head chef in that food is Kobe Mainoo. Arsenal got smoke, he assisted too. I was never in doubt of the goal when they put Sancho straight through. If I ever had doubts, he erased that too. 100 mil for some rice and stew. But them man never knew. Head chef in that food is Kobe Mainoo. Arsenal got smoke, he assisted too. I was never in doubt of the goal when they put Sancho straight through. If I ever had doubts, he erased that too. Arsenal got beat, now they call it a friendly. So an Arsenal fan get beat in the crowd, I could say it didn't look too friendly. Last time I see something get beat like that, it was a court case, hold cat Mendy. They say firm just turn this one to a chuckle like fam, I just might don't tempt me. Arsenal got beat, now they call it a friendly. So an Arsenal fan get beat in the crowd, I could say it didn't look too friendly. Last time I see something get beat like that, it was a court case, hold cat Mendy. They say firm just turn this one to a chuckle like fam, I just might don't tempt me. Yo, this is the OT99 Bantering, where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. Look, we're back again with another show. It's your boy Firms, and I'm joined today with NK and Muba, and we are going to chop up the friendly, the smoke that we served to Arsenal. Look, Arsenal got handed the smoke with all of their signings, with all of their rice, £105 rice. Look, they got served, and this is what I mean about my team. Look, if Man United get it right, I ain't worried about nobody. I ain't worried about nobody. But yeah, we're gonna get into that. Yo, NK, what you saying?
Nothing, man. Just here, summertime. I was trying to. I don't know, man. Did Declan Rice play against Man United? I didn't see him, But anyway, I was looking. I was looking for him. I couldn't find him, man. But hopefully, you lot can tell me, man, because I didn't see nothing, man.
Bro, you know that burnt rice at the bottom of the pot when you make that fried or jollof that you're scraping? Yeah, that's
someone said he was moving like those Tesco jollof rice.
Uncle Benson.
Uncle Benson jollof rice.
Muba, what are you saying?
Yesterday we get the better out of them. Yeah, yesterday we get the better out of them. And yesterday I'll give credit to Eric Ten Hag. He has fight for his ideas, how he want to play in terms of playing against base possession football and how they rotate the switching and how they move into certain zones just to make you feel intimidated, and they force you to press and they utilize their system. So I would give the credit to Eric Ten Hag, what he did yesterday. He did suffocate them. He did press them. He didn't give them the much time to decide their tempo and the rhythm, how they want to play, and get the worst out of them. Yesterday, I will not say only Rice was out of the game. I would say the whole game, the whole team were down yesterday. Even their key players, the one they are set to unlock their system, all those players were out of. So they were frustrated. I
would say the only player that maybe had a little bit of joy for a small period of time was Saka. Because it was given
Saka at the 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes he was on fire. He was very on fire.
Yeah.
But after that, they were all frustrated and they couldn't get anything. So I'll give credit to Eric Ten Hag, and also I'll give credit to that Kobe boy because of how he embraced that position. He embraced the role they were giving to him. He didn't get distracted and too competent on that role. He focused on what he was said to do, and he did it with intelligence and he did it with boldness. So I took my cap off for him by doing so, and I give credit to them. Yeah, I respect them.
You mentioned Kobe Mainoo last year, and I said, look, stop talking about Kobe Mainoo. We haven't seen him. He's never even played in the first team. What are you talking about Kobe Mainoo for? Who is this guy, Kobe Mainoo? He got a brief little cameo towards the end of the previous season, and eyebrows kind of raised. We saw Eric Ten Hag embracing him at the end of certain games, and we're thinking like, why is he getting all of this attention? Why is he being the one that's brought around? Look, I have to tell you, I have to tell you, Kobe Mainoo looked. I know it's a friendly, but Kobe Mainoo looked so good, so mature for his age. This guy is 18 years old and he's moving like he's been playing in a team for quite some time. He's moving like he's mid-20s and he's just having a time of his life. What do you think the future looks like for Kobe Mainoo?
I think for now, I think Eric Ten Hag, he'll be very impressed too. Because look, when you have a young player that can come in there and do what he did yesterday, I think tactically you can look at him like, look, going into the season, he might probably not start, but if I need him, I can rely on him for him to kind of like do something there. We've been linked to some kind of like, what do you call it, midfielders too. It could be that he can probably like change his mind and then in the end not go for, what do you call it, Amrabat, which we've been linked to too. But look, I think the manager will be proud of him. I've seen like last season, he's kind of like used that boy as a project where he's been developing him. I think last season he played as an 8, as a 6, and also as an 8. So the manager has been working, what do you call it, him, but he always said it too. Look, he said, look, it's up to him to make a case for himself, and that's why he brought him into the Preseason. And judging by the way he played yesterday, I think he's making a case for himself. He's really making a case for himself.
Follows instruction, isn't it? Like you see him part of the back three, dropping deep as a deep line playmaker, joining the back three at times. You see him in an advanced position, swapping with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, swapping. I remember him looping the ball off to Aaron Wan-Bissaka, which led to the goal. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if he was involved in the second one where he hoofed it. I don't know if it was
the
him.
The second one, he is the same person.
He's the same person again.
Person.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like I listened to a quote, a recent quote that Eric Ten Hag said when he was talking about he wants to be, not the interview, he was talking about wanting to be the best transition team in he wants to have the best transition and everything like that. And to me, that translated to me as being able to transition seamlessly, effortlessly, in a rapid sort of phase of play. And when I looked at the goal that we scored, where it went from Heaton to Kobe Mainoo to Sancho, or you got Mainoo to, who was the right winger? Who did it go to? Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Well, you're talking about the first goal.
Yeah,
Because I think the first goal, Heaton, Dane, and then Mainoo gave it to Bruno. And then,
like,
but then I think,
it was only 3 touches. It was from the goalkeeper to Mainoo and to Bruno. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
And all
but
of
there
was
like a lot of movement going on. It
Yeah,
wasn't just like the passing. There was a lot of like movement going on, shifting players around, which, as I said to you, we don't really see too much of it. But when you watch it, so many movements have done it to create that kind of like space. For them too. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing with Eric Ten Hag, isn't it? Like, I know we're fixated on a lot on formations, a lot of like, you know, what's the starting lineup going to be? Where's everyone going to play? But a lot of the time, when I watch the team, I'm always seeing a consistency where it is you have 3 centre backs. When we're on the ball, yes, 3 back, maybe a DM shadowing that 3 centre backs. He's always got like, maybe it's a Casemiro, whoever it is. He's got 3 centre backs, and everyone seems to be in an advanced position. So it seems like he's got like maybe like 3, 2, 6. I mean 3, 2, 5, is it, or 3, 1?
3,
1, 6.
3, 1, 6. And
it's
just
on that films, because I was even asking Muba this question. Maybe he's here so he can explain it. Because I noticed yesterday, in terms of like how we were playing, because in the build-up, Wan-Bissaka naturally is a weakness on the ball, but I saw that he got pushed very high up the pitch, very high up the pitch, and at times Mount and Mount and Kobe were interchanging in terms of like forming that back 3, and Shaw 2 was kind of like inverting to be like the second midfielder. If you can explain that more too, that'd be great. Because I saw so many stuff going on onto the pitch like yesterday, man. It was very interesting to kind of like see those dynamics.
The one thing is, every manager has a different approach to every game. You see, when Eric Ten Hag is playing his build-up, let's freeze it, assuming we get a goalkeeper taking 2-3 touches. The reason why the goalkeeper taking 2-3 touches is to utilize in the developing at a fullback. So when you utilizing the developing at fullback, is pushing him up to occupy that space. When he does that, what you do is you push your right winger to consume that zone, where to distract and drag the opponent left back and the opponent center back to himself. When you does that, you get 1-on-1 which is only the right center back with Sancho. You got him on there. That at that moment when you're doing it, you're creating a space for Kobe, who was the CDM. You delaying the touches and you are manipulating the opponent midfield, the middle 10. You are manipulating them. You're creating zones in between them and the space in between them. So if you watch that moment when we get that ball, when we transcend that ball to Kobe, when he was doing that run, there was a space where Anthony picked in between that center, the middle 10. So at that moment, you get Kobe having that free one-on-one with the left back, the center back, which is the opponent left back. At that moment, you get who? Mason Mount to occupy that middle. At that moment, you get 3-1-6. So he become the zoner modified midfielder. He's become that modified who will protect that position where Aaron Basaka have lived in case that ball you are transcend is interject or being blocked from the center back. At that moment, you have somebody who will take the ball and recycle the ball again, because we are multiplied in the attacking 10. So at the attacking 10, that's where people get confused. In any moment when a manager plays 3-1-6, the reason why he playing that the 6 in the front in the attacking 10 is because you want to get 3 forward in the 16 box. So you get Sancho in the deep. You get who? Garnacho in the width and the wide side, that corner. Then you get who? Mainoo who pick the ball. So you got 3. So at that moment, you get who? You get Anthony, who has to drag the midfield, the CDM and the CDM into that middle. So if that watch that moment, when Bruno fetched the ball, there was Anthony who was giving him that zona free and a 10 over where Bruno was free to hit the ball. So there was no one to mark him, because why? Anthony have already cleared that moment. He have cleaned that play to be free for him.
He's dragging the opposition. The movement, dragging the opposition, creating those gaps.
At that moment, you were seeing that who? Mason Mount was already in blocking where Aaron Bissaka leave that space. Aaron Bissaka and Kobe have already eliminated that rule. He's already there. So in the transition, yes, when we lose the ball, if in case Bruno couldn't hit the target and we lose the ball, we were going to be 2, because Luke Shaw was going to drop deep as a CDM. Then we get Mason Mount on that cover line. So at that moment, I get
it now.
So I hear what you're saying, Muba, as well. And I think what greatly impressed me specifically about Kobe Mainoo was the fact that his ability to follow Eric Ten Hag, because there's a lot, like Eric Ten Hag is a very specific tactical manager. Do you know what I mean? Like, he wants a specific thing done in a game, and if you ain't doing it, he's not going to be impressed and he's going to call you out on it. You see him writing on his pad all the time. And I just feel like a guy that Kobe Mainoo, a young boy like that, to know when to go forward, to know when to stay back, to know when to cover for his counterparts, and know, do you know what I mean? Knowing to be in the right place at the right time, pick the pass at the right time. I look at a certain trait that Kobe Mainoo has as well. He's press resistant, man. He's able to get that ball. You have pressure people onto him. He can take that ball, not only be press resistant, but take it on a swivel, take it on a turn and find his man. That, I look at those little things and I'm just like, this is amazing coming from a young boy. It's amazing. He's not there holding it up and doing all of this crazy stuff, even though he's got the physicality. He takes it on a turn, finds his man, keeps the play flowing. And for me, he convinced me, man. And I know people's going to say it's only a friendly. Do you know the thing about the fan base is like this? If we lost, it would have been like, oh, it's only a friendly, blah, 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 blah. Same, Arsenal lost, they're now saying that. But these guys need to understand, when Man United and Arsenal play each other, it's not a friendly game. You hear the interview.
It was not.
Did you see Martinez's challenge? Martinez's challenge.
But before the game, the manager said we don't play friendlies. You know, he just said we don't play friendlies, and you saw that from the players too. Look, people can talk about it being a friend or not, but I think psychologically, look, one person done a blow, man. Because like, I think we left the game as a United fan. We left the game feeling more confident and being more hopeful. I think Arsenal fans still left the game asking too many kind of like questions, because don't forget they were trying a whole different midfield. You know, they had Declan Rice, Odegaard, and Kai Havertz there too, with Timber also inverting too. So it was a whole different midfield for them. Whether it's going to work in the future, yeah. Because as I said to you, it's friendly, so managers are always experimenting, similar to what we were experimenting to with Sancho in the first night too. You know, which I think it was experiment. So I think different managers were kind of like experimenting too. But I'm sure we're going to probably like touch on our one too.
Do you think that Kai Havertz and Declan Rice and Odegaard will work as a midfield? Because I have a lot of fans, like I went on AFTV and just people online, they're questioning Kai Havertz. You know, people are saying, you know, these friendlies that they've seen, they haven't seen a lot from him, even though he scored a goal, but they haven't seen enough from Kai Havertz. And I know people, this is the fan base for you, you know what I mean? It's a lot of money spent. What do you think, Muba?
It's delusional to take out of context, thinking, oh, they play 2 games in the preseason, and at the end of the day, they kind of doesn't have that chemistry. They kind of lack of understanding. They kind of doesn't have that positional complement. So at the end of the day, it's not going to work. If you start talking like that, you that means you don't have the principles of the game. This is football.
Yeah.
This is football. This is a player psychologically, like Rice has spent almost years playing in a block low system, where what he does is he carries the ball from one position in one zone to another. And he's been enjoying that because there are certain elements that enable him to excel in that position, because he have players who pick certain zone that gives him or highlight his qualities.
Can I ask you, Muba, where do you feel is Kai Havertz's best position for Arsenal? Is that still yet to be determined? Because a lot of the same
position he was playing yesterday. Like I said,
number 8.
8. Yeah, don't take for granted, because yesterday the opposition make it so difficult for them to find the free mind the next one. The positioning suffocated them. He made them not to know. The opposition makes them not to have more complement. And I explained to NK that there was a position in 10 minutes first of the game. You see Timber and Saka connection was so perfect. They were complementing each other. There was a certain way they put us in the situation that the goalkeeper has to do double save. They punish us in the
So if they scored that, it could have been a different story, to be honest, you know. But you know what, Muba, though? But what I'm thinking is, though, because when I watched Arsenal last season, especially more closely when they played us, 2 of those games they played us, the pressure, the high tempo that they played at, and I know it's preseason and maybe they're still getting warm up and they're learning each other. But in my mind, I'm looking at Kai Havertz and I'm thinking, can he the midfield? He's playing in a midfield center, which is very important for that. And my thing is just that when I think about Havertz, I don't associate him with that. And maybe I ain't watched enough of him, but I don't associate with that. In my mind, I'll be more worried if it was Partey lining up with Declan Rice and Odegaard as part of their 3 than Kai Havertz. You know what I mean? Like Declan Rice and Odegaard. What do you think, though? Because I don't know.
Let's go back to preseason last season, where we kind of Liverpool getting 4-2 or 4-3 from us.
What was the score? What, them 4-4?
We beat them like 4-0.
We beat them 4-0. What was
4-2.
that score? Let me check.
Was it 4-2?
Yeah, it was 4-2. They came in by scoring 2 goals. They scored 2. It was 4-2.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's track back after the preseason. Then we beat them the first round at OT 2-1.
Yeah. So
was it necessary for them to beat us 7? Because we got them on preseason 4.
No, but yeah, I think yeah, you go. Look, with me, friends, it's very simple. I've always thought that Declan Rice going to a big club like Arsenal and being able to literally get the responsibility of like being like the main guy in there controlling the game. I feel like he needed a bit of time to adjust. Me personally, I feel like it will be much better if he was playing next to a Partey. But obviously, the manager thinks, the manager think otherwise. So as I said to you, it's friendly games, so naturally they are experimenting. When the season starts, whether they're going to be going with the same experiment or not, only time will tell. But me personally, I always feel like, because as he said to you, he's not used to playing in like Muba said it. He's been playing in a low block system, not used to playing in a possession-based system. Maybe it would take him some time to kind of like get used to that manager's tactics.
In my mind, I think, no doubt do I question Kai Havertz in terms of him adapt, maybe get like, getting used to Arteta's system is still early, and I know what he can do.
No,
going forward. Let me just land. Let me land.
Okay.
I can see Kai Havertz blending in at Arsenal. He's got the technical ability. He can do all of that. I can see him doing that. I just query the defensive and the role that, how Erik ten Hag said he wants Man United to be a pressure system, like a pressure cooker. Arsenal, I swear down, when we played Arsenal, it was one of the most, I felt like on the edge of my seat for huge parts of that game. And, they had people like Partey and Xhaka, who's got that tenacity, he's got that physicality, he's got that strength, all of that stuff, along with the other players. But our midfield was a real battle. And in my mind, if I'm seeing, I'm just waiting to see. It's early days, and that's the only thing I'm going to query is that physicality, that pressing. Is Kai Havertz going to be rolling his socks up to do that alongside Declan Rice? Because it just can't be Declan Rice on his own. I know this ain't an Arsenal show.
Yesterday, where was Martinelli?
Where was Martinelli? Where was Martinelli? Yeah.
He was not in the game, but he was in the game yesterday. It was only 2 incidents we saw him. That first strike, he got a first strike, and there was an incident when he got involved with Mainoo and Aaron Bissaka, when Aaron took the ball from him and flipped the ball back. There was only 2 incidents. Where was Odegaard? The only time we saw Odegaard when he was having that heat with Martinez. So what I'm saying to you, I'm not saying it's 2 places, it's 2 things. Can it be yesterday how Erik ten Hag took the game too serious and took the game to utilize his system, what he wants as a manager?
That's a massive part of it.
Yes. Can it be that, or can it be yesterday also that Arsenal couldn't have a time to adjust to their game? Because yesterday their key players, where they enable the system, they start utilizing the movement and everything. They were out of the game, so they have to force out of the game.
Yeah, but Muba, I mean,
it's a point.
With what you said, as I said to you, I watched them against the MLS team where they were very much dominant on the ball because they had the ball. So it was two different games. It was 2 different games. But the question is, it's always going to be when they get teams that are going to put them under pressure, can they do it? But obviously, those kind of questions, only time will tell. Me, I don't know. As I said to you, when it comes to this, I always say we pocketed Arsenal, man. They were not there to be seen, man. All those talking.
Let's talk about it because
let's talk.
I hate Arsenal.
Let's talk about Mainoo. Let's talk about Mainoo because I know. Look, everyone, even in a friendly, I don't care if it was a friendly. I don't want to lose against Arsenal under any circumstance. I don't want to lose against City. I don't want to lose against Liverpool. I don't want to lose against Leeds. That's just how it is. So if anyone's saying, "Oh, it's just a friendly, let's handshake," you're laughing. This is a serious game. And at the end of the day, if you're not ready now, going into the season, then you're stressed. This long gone are the days where you don't take preseason seriously because everyone's seen the benefits of preseason and what a good preseason can do mentality-wise, what it can do for you. You understand? So for me, I'm leaving all of that aside. I'm happy that we got a result, you understand? And I feel like mentally the players are ready. But look, let's talk about Sancho, man, because you, man, have been talking about some stuff about Sancho. I haven't heard about these discussions. NK brought it to my attention. You just mentioned it now about Erik ten Hag playing Sancho in a false 9 position, potentially to set this guy up to fail. Now, what is that all about? Like, is it that Erik ten Hag really doesn't like this guy, really feels like he can't fit into his style? Or is it the fact that he's trying to use him in a different capacity, he's using this as an opportunity being pre-season to see if, in fact, Sancho can be adaptable playing as a false 9 so that he can be understudy potentially for or provide competition to Rasmus Højlund, Rashford, or if we get Rasmus Højlund, that is. Like, what's your views on it? Because for me, I feel like I've been saying this to NK already. I feel like he's a quality player, but I do feel the particular position that Sancho's in, with the fact that he's on 250k base salary, he gets bonuses on top. His contract's going to soon come up for renewal in a year or two, and a question's got to be asked. Like Martial, a question's had to be asked about him. Sancho's not injury prone. He's playing good football, but a question's going to be asked about what do we do with his contract? Is Sancho going to want to accept less? Is he going to? Are we going to be happy to pay him on the same? De Gea's not getting the same. Is he going to accept that? Is he going to want to move on? Probably not. Like, all of these questions have got to be asked, and to reduce the stress on that, Sancho is got to give Erik ten Hag what he wants on a consistent basis. I feel like Erik ten Hag in an interview said he wants consistency. Like, he's seen things with this whole team and not just Sancho. He wants consistency, and for me, he's going to be starting the guys that he feels more trustworthy and confident more often than not. And Sancho needs to prove himself. But what's your thoughts on the false nine position thing that Erik ten Hag done with Sancho?
Muba, you want to take that?
Yeah, I want to take it. One, I would just say, let me use this word. It's a delusional and nonsense take when you, as a fan, you thinking, oh, Sancho is being set on number 9 because they want him to fail, because the manager want to sideline him. That's bogus. Because one, let's take it from the beginning. One, how many senior players on that top when they went to the first game? None. If you're gonna play, if a manager wanna play, and then what do you
mean against Leeds? The senior players against Leeds.
Yeah. When the manager wants Sancho. When the manager goes to preseason, what is the reason why manager go to preseason? To approach the season, to set the new setup, the system, the idea, how he wanna play. He wanna utilize the players and set them. So if a manager go to preseason and most of his players, his standout players, are not back, they are still on holiday, and the manager is playing a game where he has only one technical and dynamics player who understand the basics and the fundamentals of the game, and also understand the manager, how the manager want to play because of his intelligence. And that position was one important role we've been crying and we've been talking about. So who the manager has to trust and utilize him on that role is Sancho.
Do you think then Sancho has a future in that position? Look, I ain't gonna lie. When I saw him take that goal, when I see him accelerate and get past, what's his name? Gabriel. The Arsenal defender? Gabriel. I was surprised because Gabriel's not a slouch, and he finished it perfectly. And it made me start thinking, can he play there going forward? Now, do you feel like it's only because we didn't have the full squad back that is playing in that position?
That's what
like there's opportunity.
That's what I'm explaining to you, that managers benefit from any kind of technical and dynamics player. They benefit from them. Let me give you one scenario. Man City have used Raheem Sterling as first number 9. They have used Gundogan as first number 9. Is it because you wanted to sideline him? No. It's a different approach to different system and a different season based on the opponent. That's one. Let's assume in Inter Milan, their first season, Martinez was the main striker. But the second season, they approached it making him a secondary striker, playing behind the main striker, which is Edwin Dzeko. Karim Benzema won the world best Ballon d'Or. But at the end of the day, we were playing Rodrigo as first number 9. Benzema was sitting at the bench, having injuries. Is it because we want to sideline the boy? You see, managers have different approach to every season. Strategies are different.
But you know where this is coming from, Muba. This is coming from the fact that Sancho is being associated. You remember a list came out of 13 players that's been linked with departures. Sancho ended up on that list.
It never end up on list. It's you, the fans. That's why I don't want to buy it. Fans.
Because I found Simon Stone from the BBC mentioning this as well, agreeing that this guy Sancho is a player that Manchester United is considering selling, but they don't believe that they can get the full amount of the 75 or whatever the million they paid for him. But they're not. Look, independent, yeah. Simon Stone and all of these players and all of these reports are saying. I'm not saying that these are facts. I've been making it clear that a lot of these things, papers, there are rumors coming out talking about Sancho. Now, my question is, because I've been talking to NK offline about Sancho and his long-term career at Manchester United. I finally got a win over NK with Bruno. I think he can accept that now, that Bruno is firmly in Erik ten Hag's plans. So I'd like to congratulate myself. I'd like to shout out my mum, my dad, and everyone that supported me during this tough, turbulent time where I was getting backlash. But he's your captain now, so we salute him.
Don't worry, Edwin will come back here soon, man.
And it's the same like Sancho. Sancho is a long-term product. Nobody can doubt me, and I will never back down. Why? I'm giving you these reasons. Because modern football has changed. Managers play in a dynamics way. They play in a technical way, which is techniques. Yeah. They need players they can occupy certain zones and certain positions. That's
He's got utility. He's got a lot of multi.
That's multifunction.
Yeah.
You benefit from them. So let me give you that. If you play Sancho at the right wing, he give you a different dynamics and different dynamic football. He give you different average player that you want to see. If you play him on the left wing, he give you the same. When you play him at number 10, it becomes so amazing. So why do you play him number 10? You play him because you want the fundamental basic. Touch, move, dribble, hold the ball. That's what you want from your player. When you play him at the right wing, what do you want? You want him to approach and eliminate opponent center back. Does he do that? He doesn't. During the 3 games of the last season, when he was playing the right wing, he was doing it. That's why people say, oh, this is his position. Oh, he's the best there. That's delicious now.
NK, when he playing the left what's your thoughts, NK? Because Muba is clearly assured that Sancho's got a long-term future. And I think my guess is probably you feel the same on Sancho. And I feel like, obviously he's multi-purpose, but Man United could potentially be backed by Saudi money. And this raises a whole nother
let's game against Real Madrid. So you think against Real Madrid, Sancho is going to play no matter. You see Sancho, maybe Real Madrid, he's playing right wing.
No. I don't think. My question is.
You don't think.
My thing is with Sancho. With Sancho, I feel like if we don't see more from Sancho, questions will be raised. And the reason why I'm saying it more particular with Sancho is because of his wages. It's really because of his wages. I'm honest with you. I'm the same. The reason why because he's on 350 in total, including bonuses and everything like that, if it's realized, right? But he's on a 250 base. He's a young lad. He's a very young lad. Yeah, what 24? My thing is there's gonna be contract renewal. We're gonna have these discussions. And my thing is I'm not seeing enough for a 250k player to get a contract renewal. Like if it's Crete Erik ten Hag, I would say yes. But I just can't see it. And I don't dislike the guy. I like the guy.
No, I think we're looking too much ahead in terms of that. Look, any when it comes to contract negotiation or contract anyway, a lot of players need to perform well. Do you go? I'm trying to say in order to end that, but I'm not even going too much as far. I'm just kind of like looking at the season ahead. The season ahead. That's what I want to focus on. I said to you, look, to me, if Man United, I've seen the rumors just like you, and if Man United are planning to sell Sancho this season, I question that. I don't think it's going to be for footballing reasons because you don't sell a player of that quality. You just don't do that. And even yesterday, watching it too, if you was to sell him, and then let's just say Garnacho is your backup. I saw enough of Garnacho yesterday to just say, okay, you know what? You probably need a few seasons to be ready. And if you're gonna sell him and bring in someone else if you're gonna bring someone else new into it too, there's a question too. I was like, okay, if they come in, can they adjust to the league? Can they fit in too? So to me, the better gamble is to stick with Sancho based on the friendly that he's been playing. Look, I see him that like I was even saying it. I don't even think yesterday was his best game. I think the first 2 games, I think he had a much better game in the first 2 games than he did. I've seen a player that's dropping him, linking up play, putting both wingers on, I think Ahmed against Leeds could have scored like 2 goals. And both goals could have been as a result of what Sancho was doing. So if you have wingers like, say, Anthony and then Rashford who like to score goals, having a player like Sancho, to me, what he was doing was a bit similar to what Martial does.
Anthony,
Martial,
by the way,
it.
Anthony's such a pest. I have to give him a shout out because I loved how he was just like white on rice with these guys, man. I loved it, man. He's such a
so to me, I said to you, even if Tim Hag does bring in a striker, having Sancho there too, similar to with Kobe, you know, you have a different type of like profile to play in terms of like setting up tactically differently. So to me, if they're trying to sell him, as I said to you, I don't think it's for footballing reasons, because as a manager, if you have a player that can literally play across all front three,
Eric Ten Hag's all about his footballing. He's all about his footballing decisions.
Yeah, but that's why I want to ask. So fans are trying to tell me because of his wages. That's the first problem. The second problem is his future. That's why. And the third one, people trying to tell me that Garnacho can be a utilized right winger even more as a backup to Rashford.
No, Ahmed.
Well, you meant Ahmed Diallo?
Ahmed.
Ahmed is in trouble now that he got in. But actually, I heard it's not that serious.
No, but actually, what do you call it? I just saw it now. Ahmed said his injuries is not serious.
It's not that serious.
Yeah, it's not that serious though. But ultimately, look, as I said to you, fans. Fans will always be fans, isn't it? Though, and that's what make it the beautiful game. We hear a lot. But I said to you, look,
I just to put it out there, yeah. I've seen what he can do offensively.
I've already done my lottery, man. I think it's going to be a great season for Sancho, bro. Man. I've already pushed my ticket already, man.
I hope so. Because I just want all of these guys to perform consistently. For me, my only problem attacking here is, as well as your defensive.
Fem is telling us a captain that cannot even have a half 10 over. Now he's a captain and he's a permanent project player. But the same person's come to tell me a technical player who can play both feet, who can play across all the positions. You sitting here with your camera.
Muba, look, the finish. No, with Sancho, I think we can all agree that he just need that consistency. He really need to find
I'm telling you, I'm not doubting his quality.
The boy got
this
everything.
Is a consistency.
He just need that consistency. He just need that. I don't know, but I just feel like this will probably be the season a kind of like click for him. I've always said that.
Let me tell you this, last season, and I feel like a lot of the fan bases forgot some of the things that has happened with this team. Last season, I'll just close with this. Last season, right? The goalkeeper, there was complaints about the goalkeeper not being able to pass up from the back, giving away the ball too easily. There's complaints about, obviously, Maguire. That problem's been solved. There's complaints about not having a striker. There's complaints about our front three, actually, just not being on it enough, because we just wastage of chances, a lot of chance wastage. And we saw Bruno appear on the chance creation list for Rashford and for Anthony quite a lot. You appeared on that list twice, but you see out of the top 6, our goal scored, not goal difference, our goal scored was pretty poor against them. And I know that we've got the ability to score a lot more goals. Me in the WhatsApp group with NK and everything like that, we're talking about many times, we're saying this front three, we need to change this front three. It's not good enough. But then at times there's also games where you're just like, wow, that was great. That was great from him. Garnacho's great coming off the bench. Sancho, what a great goal. The composure that he showed in the box. X, Y, and Z. Like all of these things, we saw. But the one consistent thing is the consistency. Man United can't afford to be having inconsistencies. And it's not a dig at Sancho per se. It's the whole squad. We need to be more consistent in the way how we play as a team.
I think the manager did allude to that. He said, look, the next step for this team is to be consistent, because it's always been one of our biggest problems, because Man United was the team we can go beat City and then the next game kind of lose. I think we just need to be just take it to the next step. Just let him just know that, look, this thing where we have one good home record, we can just do it like that, because look, it will be a joy to see us in the title race next season. It
Bro.
will be a joy. I think we're gonna be in there. I really think we're gonna be in there. But you know me, I'm always like that at the beginning of the season, and then come the middle, I'm crying.
All right, let me ask you the question. Where we finishing the season?
For me,
yeah. Or is it too early? Second. Are you waiting for the window to close first? Or like...
no. I think second place, but somehow I'm hoping City have a hangover from winning the treble, but I'll go for second place.
Do you know they want Elise apparently as well? Like,
yeah.
Muba, talk to me.
You see, fam, I've been telling NK, football is a heritage, Football is a heritage. It's something that it happens to everybody. When you set a project for a period of years and you're fighting towards that project, when you kind of achieve it, go watch all those teams that set for 6-7 years to win Champions League. If they win the Champions League, go see how their team shamble and they drag down. It happens to everybody. So the manager has to implement new experience, new idea into a different how they can approach in a different way. Because when you win the Champions League, you become a target to every opponent. They target you.
Are you talking about City? Are you talking about City here?
Yes.
Are you talking about?
So, I'm thinking Man City is not going to have a good season in terms of going to win the league. No, they're going to have a good season in terms of to stay in the top 4.
So Muba,
you're saying that we're going to win the league then?
You talk with chess, Muba. Where is Man United finishing?
If you're going to challenge for the title, definitely we are in the race of if we got the opportunity, we can steal it.
So who finishes top 4 in order for you? List them.
Yes.
Tell me who's finishing top 4.
If I'm basing on how logical every manager based and building their team, Erik ten Hag is in a position to do that, to be on top.
You're saying Man United first?
Yes, Man United can be first. Yes.
And then second is who?
And second, I can tip Liverpool can be a second. Because
what is your top 4? Let me see. What's your top 4?
My top 4 can be Manchester, Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal.
Damn,
friends, I'm changing my one. I'm going for Man United first.
Muba is officially more reckless than NK. Officially more. Look, I'm praying, Muba. I'm praying that you are right.
Watch. Let me tell you one thing about managers, in terms of, if you read Pep Guardiola coming from Barcelona, read how their dialogue look like, and read Ferguson how their dialogue look like, read Ancelotti how their dialogue. Man City, Manchester, our manager, he's not that manager that wants you to feel like I'm going to play this kind of a game and win it. No, he's that manager. I want to win, and if I have to break your leg to win, I'm winning it. That's how I work.
By any means necessary.
Yes. If you watch from him, the way his dialogue has been arranged, he doesn't have that drop. When he's going. That's him. It doesn't give you a beautiful game. Go watch all the season where he beat Juventus as a
Muba, make this guy do his. I want to hear Femi top 4 too. What's your top 4, Femi?
He's afraid.
I think Manchester United. I think Manchester United finishes 3rd. The reason why I think that Man United finishes 3rd, Manchester United, I don't feel like. I mean, if we have a really good season, I say 2nd. But I feel like we finished 3rd at the minute. It depends on the transfer window, because I just don't feel like we've got the components yet to go on to win the title.
It's about whether we can find the consistency.
But even that, I can't go on and gamble and say Højlund, whoever comes in, is going to go and get X amount of goals, or Rashford's still going to do the same again. Or I just ain't seen enough yet to know that. I mean, I could be wrong. Erik ten Hag might bring it out of them, but I just can't see enough to say Man United's going to win the title. I feel that I'll be reckless. But the way we played, I feel that Man United could beat any team on the planet. The way we play, if we're on it, we can beat any team. And because of that, Man United's a very unique club. Look, but I'm wrapping this up.
Okay. Guys, I want to chip this in.
I'm wrapping it up.
A manager who never have a consistent season, who never have a right method season, became 3rd. and even was fighting at the point he was fighting for the
Ole Gunnar
second.
Solskjaer, man. We've seen it, bro. We've seen it, bro.
That's him. That's him.
Look, guys.
That's him.
Look, I hope Muba's correct. I hope NK is
It's not
correct.
like you
I
hope.
predicted the same thing too.
Look, I hope
Yeah,
NK is
don't
correct.
say we hope.
I
Don't
actually,
say hope. Use that hope out. It's we correct. Simple.
look,
Simple.
we'll address this.
And when it happens, you close your channel. Don't worry.
Guys, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the link. Follow these guys, NK, Muba. Follow them on their pages, man. Look, we're out here all season. The season's coming. The season's fast approaching. Our next game is
Friends, look.
Wait.
If we win a title, yeah, the first OT you are doing it topless. Doing it topless, man. Doing it topless.
Hey, that is soft, bro. I on that thing, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, guys.
Salute.
Look, we're out, man. Peace.
Salute. Sure.
Peace.